Happy Monday, everybody. Good morning. Natasha Denman here, coming to you probably for the last time from my office for a few weeks now. We're boarding a plane to head off to Tassie this early afternoon, lunchtime. And good morning, Donna. Nice to see you on the call. And then next week I'm off to Queensland for 3 weeks. So there's quite a lot of a heavy travel period coming up in the next 4 weeks, four and probably a bit longer. So good morning to everybody. This morning I thought I wanted to talk about the 10 things that I wish I knew when I started out in business. I was thinking about that the other day. What is it that I wish I knew that I know now in hindsight, being 9 years in. Good morning, Adair. Great to see you on the call as well. And as per normal, 9 a.m. Melbourne time, this is where we hang out for about half an hour. And then I go do a little bit of a live into my secret group, and then that's our sort of Monday morning boost. Good morning, Jody, as well. All right, so let me do my little share, because this live does go into a couple of groups that I facilitate and own, the Author Your Way to Riches group and the Ultimate Business Support group. So I'm just going to pop those in on my little laptop here, and we'll share the lives, and then we're going to get going. I'm curious, what did you wish you knew? You're on the train listening on headphones, Jody. Jody drives a one of those big coal trains up in far north Queensland. So she is one of our awesome authors who just attended a retreat. Just a week and a bit ago. And there's Tracy too. And Tracy drove down to retreat 17 hours from Queensland to attend it, which was a bit of a road trip for her. So I've done also, I think I did also, what am I doing? I'm trying to figure out which group have I shared this into. So we're going to get going, guys. That's what I was going to say. What was one thing that you wish you knew when you started out in business? Just curious, if you've been in the business for a little while, or maybe you haven't been, but now you've realized some things along the way. I'm just going to check that this is shared properly where I needed to share it, because I got distracted talking. And then I'm going to get going with the content. I have got, actually last night, like 10 o'clock, good morning, Lillian, as well. I brainstormed up this topic. I was so prepared ahead of time. All right, I've done it there. I'm just going to check one more area, because we don't officially really start till 9 o'clock, and it's 2 minutes to 9 o'clock. And my other group, just making sure we're rolling everywhere, and then we can get going. Okay, perfect. That's all happening. All right, beautiful people. Good morning, Sandy, Patricia. All right, guys, lots of you on live, and of course, people are going to be watching this later on as a recording. I've got a list of 10 things that I wish I knew when I started in business 9 years ago. So maybe some wisdom that I impart here today will help and assist some of you in, having those discoveries a little bit earlier on. Our journeys are different from person to person, from business to business. We well disciplined. Yes, you are. You're wonderfully disciplined. But I think there is common themes and common patterns that occur, that we have realizations as a business owner, because then when I speak to other business owners who perhaps have been on the journey as long as I have now, they keep, they nod their heads, yes, that's what it was like for me as well. So these are just different things. There's no particular theme. I sat down and I was thinking in bed last night, what is it? I had 2 or 3. That's what got the train of thought going in terms of this topic for today. But then I said, well, what else? What else did I wish I knew when I started out in business? And then I was thinking of the different areas, and I'm sure I could come up with probably 30, but I brainstormed up 10. So these are the top 10. So my number 1 on the list, and they're in no particular order, was that I'm just going to read it out and then I'm going to talk about it. My branding and marketing collateral don't matter. It is me that people buy into. become a master communicator, what I do and how I do it, the rest will come in time. So often what I see new business owners do, and myself included back in the early days, you know, doing their best to refine their branding, the way they look, the way their website is, you know, what kind of brochures do they have, what kind of business cards, and none of that actually ultimately matters. And still to this point, of course, we have built up our branding and how we appear, and we recently 6 months ago rebranded from a different logo to a new logo, launched a second business in line with what we're doing. But but what I realized more and more, even with all of that, none of that matters. What matters is how well we communicate what we do to other people, how much energy, passion, and enthusiasm, confidence, and certainty. All right, write those 5 down. We have around the thing that how we help other people. You know, of course, you know, yes, branding and all that makes us look more professional, but if we can ooze those things that I just said before, people, as long as they feel safe and know that we are going to deliver on our promises, they are likely to engage us for our services or buy our product. Okay, so where she goes, you can't outsource your face. Yeah, people buy people. And the goal of every business owner is to ultimately become a master communicator at their expertise, so that then they can be able to portray that, and people buy what we value. But bottom line is, people buy what we value, and if we cannot describe what we value, you know, with that certainty, passion, enthusiasm, energy, and confidence, then you know, it's not going to work. You know, no matter how beautiful and how much money you have spent, and anyway, your money is probably not the best spent, you know, having expensive branding and looks on how you look. It's more invest your money getting out there and meeting people and going to events and just building relationships. So build this thing from the ground up. So this is where I can often notice some business owners, they keep refining, tweaking the look, and I'm like, it's good to have some kind of look and to start somewhere, but it's not the be all and end all of you launching your business and getting it off the ground. The most important thing is to invest your time and energy in building up those relationships and becoming better and better and refining in terms of what and how you communicate what you do. And certainly over time, as you communicate more and more, you're able to refine, fine-tune, tweak, and adjust what you do and evolve it, and you become a lot more comfortable in how you say it and what you believe about it yourself anyway. Good morning, Helen Nandrula. Okay, so that is number one, is to stop mucking around with branding and looks and websites and all that kind of stuff. You are enough. And it is you that people are going to ultimately engage to work with. Everything else can come with time, and perhaps invest your time and energy and money into more relationship building type of activities. Okay, number two is, so I'll read it first and I'll talk about it. Where you start is not where you will end up. But you must start, right? The next step will unfold, and the one before is absolutely necessary to the journey. Okay, so what do we mean by that? We have this picture in our mind when we start out in business that it's going to be X, right? And often so many shifts and turns occur on this journey that it completely doesn't end up looking the way we originally envisioned it. And often I can meet a lot of people, and I wasn't so much, I had the vision, and then obviously certain things shifted, and where I'm today is not where I thought I would be 9 years ago. It's 50 or 100 times better. But why? Because I started. So often people walk around and go, I just need more clarity to start. I just need more clarity to write that first book. I just need more clarity. So everyone who's newish in business, I noticed this statement just keeps coming up. I need more clarity before I take action. I need more clarity. I wish I could have more clarity in that. You know, you seem to know exactly what you stand for and all that. And I'm like thinking, hang on a second. I had no idea what my clarity was in the first 3 years of being in business. But the thing is, I kept taking action. And actually, if you don't wait and then clarity comes, action brings clarity. Because as you act, you figure out, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. Oh, I shouldn't do more of that. People are really getting that, because maybe, I haven't yet figured out how to be that master communicator, what I do. So I'm kind of trial and erroring along the way. So clarity comes from action. Please don't walk around like 98% of people waiting and sitting and going, I just need more clarity, or an aha moment or a penny dropping moment to occur in my life. It ain't going to occur. It might. However, you're going to be probably waiting for a long time rather than starting at least somewhere. And this is sometimes also with my authors, I say, just do something, just finish a book. Just the sheer fact of finishing a book and going through that journey, which a lot of the time is perceived as a mammoth kind of task, is going to give you a transformation. It almost, at the end of the day, sometimes doesn't even matter what that book is about, as long as you've walked the journey and have had the experience that most people will never give themselves or allow themselves to have. So don't wait. The journey is going to evolve, and even, because I know a lot of my authors do watch these, even if you thought the book's going to do X for me, it might turn out to be Y, Z, or B, C, D. You know what I mean? So just allow it to be, and just go and do something. Just do something. What did we say? 80% of something is better than 100% of nothing. Don't sit on stuff because you're wasting precious time. Just think, if you worked hard and you took action and you kept getting out there, refining what you're doing and saying for the next 2 or 3 years. And I know some of you in your head is saying, oh my God, it's so long, Nat. You don't notice it when, yes, it's hard and all that sort of stuff. But at the other end of all of that action will come that clarity, will come that such refined message that you become, known for, and you just keep leveraging and exponentially growing it, whichever way you choose to. All right, so that was my point number 2 of what I wished I knew when I started. Okay, number 3. This one I'm not guilty of myself. However, I have seen people do this strategy a lot early in business, and I want to actually bring it up because I just want to call some people on it. All right, number 3. Hiding behind the computer ain't going to get your business off the ground. Okay, so many people think, oh, I'm just going to do this online stuff. I just want to just be behind a computer. I don't really want to get out there. I don't want to do events. I don't want to do networking. I don't want to do speaking. And they just keep spending 40, 50, 60, 80 hours behind this computer screen, figuring out what to do on social media, how to set up an online course, how to do funnels and all this techie stuff that is difficult even for a techie person, a person who's more tech savvy to figure out, let alone someone, who is starting their journey. And of course, through business, you're going to learn and build different skill sets around using technology and different software. But why wouldn't you freaking monetize your business first by just go pound the pavement and go meet people and go, you're going to build the relationships 10 times faster than people seeing you on online, like a live stream, just like now. I've been doing these live streams for 5 years. I've been consistent for 5 years. Yeah. And yes, I get business from having people follow me through all of this and all that kind of stuff. But that's like, years and years on. I don't expect that someone sees this live today for 5 minutes or watches the whole thing and then all of a sudden, oh, yep, they're going to be so, oh, I want to work with you. So just remember that if you are in your early stages, your physical self with other people is going to be the fastest way that you'll start to monetize your business, so that you can, of course, as time progresses, then you can invest the funds, maybe to have all that techie stuff set up by other people if you're not that tech savvy yourself, and then to have all of that infrastructure built into the business. But as we said at the start of the call, you are enough, and you should be able to get out there and talk to people and hustle and just see what people need. Try to solve people's problems. Ultimately, what do we get get paid for in any product and service type business is when we are able to show a faster and easier way to solve someone's problem. That's either going to save them time, make them money, or make them feel better about themselves. Okay, so stop hiding behind your computer. The peak hours of 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, you should be out there. You should be having conversations, meetings, almost jam-pack your schedule where you're physically with people. Off-peak times, I'm all for setting up things behind the scenes, nights, mornings, weekends, and that's it. You got to work all those hours when you're starting out if you want to create a success. Yes, your lifestyle and your balance will happen, but if you're building up a business, you're building those foundations, you've got to put in the extra hours. There's no doubt about it. Does lifestyle and part-time hours become reality? Yes, it does, because I know that also. And that is, right now we're in an intense period, but I can tell you in April, off we go, 11 nights to the Gold Coast. June, we're going 1 month to Thailand. We have a lot of play hard periods as well, and extended periods where we're not on. All right, you guys, number 4. Here we go. This one is definitely a realization of mine, but it's going to take a hell of a lot more no's than I thought to get to a yes. I took your advice years ago and went to as many offline networking meetings as humanly possible. And tell us how you're going, Adair. How did that go for you? And where are you now? It's certainly starting to pay off now. There you go. And that's the thing. Actually, one of my points, since you've mentioned that further down, number 9, was networking will take some time and relationship building to start working. It's not a 1 or 2 time thing you do to find clients. You also look to network with those that advise your ideal client, not purely just clients themselves. So you already kind of stated what I was going to state at number 9. So there you go. So absolutely, networking does take time, but that's the thing. You just got to put in the hours. And yes, but early in the business, we're richer with time than we're with money. So we need to invest that time into places that are going to pay off in due course. It didn't happen overnight. Absolutely. And that's, it's a long-term game, you guys. Everything that I do, every Monday morning for 5 years, it's a long-term game. Do I see instant results from activities that I do for free, low cost, no cost, whatever no, I don't straight away, but as long as I'm putting stuff out there and action's being taken, it takes time to find the right networking groups. Exactly. Helen says that. Okay, so what? Back to my number 4. It's going to take a hell of a lot more no's to get to a yes. Oh my goodness. So the sales conversations, the conversations you have with potential clients, prospects, leads, all that kind of stuff. I used to think, pretty much if anyone expressed interest in my business, that, that it's a shoo-in, right, that you would get that particular client. But as time went on, and then at some points I thought, my shit at selling. And no, but the reality is, there are certain conversion rates and certain amount of people you have to get through before you get to a yes. And often people don't give themselves the opportunity or set up their business so they have, the opportunity to get lots of no's and then obviously to get to that yes. And so it's really, really important that there is an understanding that it's normal to get a lot of no's. And actually in the early days, it kind of like, no, yes, no. And it's like, it can happen like, oh my goodness, like 9, 15 times you get a no and then you get a yes and whatever. And you'll become better at it and refine it and that'll reduce. But still, the no's are going to outweigh the yeses in every case. I get 9 out of 10 people will say no to me to the one that says yes to me. And the point is to be able to have the opportunity to say, to be able to put this out there and to get those no's, because if you don't get the no's, you ain't going to get the yeses, or the yeses are going to be so few and far in between that is not a recipe for a viable business. So that was number 4. Just really understand that there's going to be a hell of a lot of no's on this journey, and just your skin just grows thicker as time goes on. skin grows thicker, and you know when as things happen, you learn to just let go and move on, and know that the right people are going to fall into your system and they're going to work with you, and vice versa. That's going to be the correct match. Otherwise, the others are most likely not an ideal match, and therefore the magic doesn't happen. All right, number 5, okay, on my list is don't sell straight into your high-end stuff. Okay, be patient and develop options. Start people at free or low cost. This is a big mistake that I made at the start of my business. Let me read a comment that Jodie's just posted up. I found following lots of different web pages within my industry has opened up my networking leads. Perfect. Awesome, Jodie. Okay, so don't sell straight into your high-end stuff. Give people some sample, teaser, whatever you want to call, taster of free and low cost. This was a big lesson I learned, because I ran events pretty much from the first 6 months that I started my business. And my first few calls to action were immediately from a free event that went on maybe 45 minutes to an hour into my high-end coaching packages. And I was wondering why people were not converting. It was just simply way too big a jump, and they had not gotten to know me enough, like me, and trust me. And thus, when I finally pulled it right back and introduced a really low cost bundle of couple of sessions in my book and all that sort of stuff, and 70% of people in the workshop started saying, yep, I'm going to take that really low cost offer, which is like $50 or something like that. And then they got to know me through those couple of sessions. Then they were well open into discussing the full-blown coaching engagement moving forward. So don't make the mistake of aiming straight at your super high-end stuff. Even now, like, I'm doing a ton of free stuff, like these live streams, a lot of video, a lot of all my books, I mean, they're low-cost products and all that. My half-day workshop, I do 35 of those around the country. I still want to go and meet people in the different cities, and that's how they get value, which is actually point number 6 here, is establish value before you talk price. Establish value before you talk price. So because if the value is established, then our potential client is able to, in a way, justify the investment they would be making in what you're doing, and they would understand why it is what it is. Dropping a price, even if it's just $5, $10, $15, $100, $500, doesn't mean anything unless someone fully understands, well, what is the value within this $500? What am I going to get from you? And so really important, you guys, to not jump like straight, okay, this is going to be one of my high-end clients, is to just play the patience game. Even I get referred really hot prospects and clients from my own authors into what I do, and they know what the value is and the experience and all that kind of stuff. They're already, understand the value. But when I get referred someone new, you could almost want to jump the gun, because you're like, oh, Adrian's saying establish value. So true. Yeah, and your business, Adrian, so you got to establish the value of why people need to invest into your pilot training courses versus the other people who are providing something similar. So I was going to say, I just lost my train of thought. Yes, the referrals. So if someone refers someone to me, it's so easy for me to go, oh, well, they're friends, they must have talked about how awesome the program is, or the value within the program and all that. I never think that way. It could be just that, author X has said, oh, I did this program, it's amazing, you should talk to Natasa, blah, 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 blah. I'm always assuming they've come from that place. So my first step is, to say hello, thank for the introduction. And the very next step is to invite this referral to my half-day workshop, because it is at my half-day workshop that I establish value, and I'm able to demonstrate and communicate, like what we said earlier today, why this is what it is and what it truly looks like, feels like, and so that you have more time for a person to see the whole journey and to get a sense for who am I, is this going to work between the two of us and all that sort of stuff. So I always never jump into just going to that high conversation. the minute people email you, oh, how much does your program cost? The minute is they're shopping on price and not really shopping on value. And I've said my little statement that I often say to you, look, if you're shopping on price, we are too expensive for you. But if you want to discuss the value behind our program, let's have a conversation, and then we'll talk about the investment after that. So that's my little way of managing that type of question with people. All right, guys, number 7 here is discounting or reducing your prices never works and always attracts low quality clientele that end up frustrating you to no end. Okay, so thankfully I haven't done a lot of this ever. I've been tempted in the early days, discounting and reducing prices, thinking you're going to attract way more volume of work, or people are going to accept your service package or whatever it is. No. If anything, add value, do not discount, do not reduce your prices, and continue incrementing your prices as you get better, more refined. You can achieve the goal for the client a lot faster. And of course, the systems within the business. Like, of course, our Ultimate 48 Hours program and day one was not priced at where it is now, but how much bigger and better is it now? Probably 5 times the size of the value exists within this program over where it was 5.5 years ago when we started it. So, so make sure, set a goal, maybe once I work with my first 10 clients, or when I put this many clients through this particular system and I've refined it, this is like the next level that I want to increase my prices to. Definitely keep increasing it. We keep increasing prices as we evolve. Yeah, because you know why? You also are able to provide a solution to a problem faster. You can answer more of their frequently asked questions, because in the early days, you're kind of almost testing and trialing and erring with the brand new, pilot people, the pilot group of a program. It's still not refined. It's not there, but when it's rock solid, of course, you'll be able to, charge a lot more. Good morning, Candy. Great to see people from all over the world getting up at 9 a.m. Melbourne time, whatever time it is, obviously, at your end. I think Sunday over in the US with Lillian and Candy. All right, so please stop thinking you're going to get clients because you discount yourself, reduce yourself to get someone across the line. And even if they do come across the line, I can tell you the experience most likely in many cases will end up being frustrating, and one that they feel they can control rather than you being the person that is the leader in the situation, which normally in coaching relationships, it's if you want a client to remain coachable, you need to be able to be in the command kind of position. All right, so number 8, okay. Pro bono work never delivers results for the client like a paid arrangement does. 50% of the transformation occurs due to the fact there is skin in the game. So I don't know if some of you are still doing some pro bono work, and some of you are. And so I thought it was afternoon. However, I know I felt so disheartened, and I felt crap as a coach when my pro bono clients, some of them, if not most of them, would not follow through and do the work and come back and say, yep, I've done it, I've got this result, blah, 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 blah. And I thought, maybe I just don't know how to do this properly, all right? But what I very quickly realized when I started getting paying clients is that, oh my goodness, when there is that financial commitment as well as emotional commitment and all that sort of stuff that people make into an engagement with someone, people actually start to pay attention. And some of you may have heard me say, when people don't pay, they don't pay attention. When they pay little, they pay little attention. When they pay a lot, they pay a lot of attention. And that has been so true along the journey, because when there is an investment, and I know from myself, I am doing the work. There's no way I'm going to invest hard-earned income take it from my family and not actually follow through on it. If I get stuff for free, yeah, okay, maybe I'll look at it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll file it away for later, which ain't going to happen ever. And so just be mindful of what that means for you and whom you're working with, and how long do you want to remain working pro bono? If you're working pro bono, let me know. Did you feel, or do you feel exactly like I do when you've done stuff for free for people? How much has that, transformed them or changed their lives? All right, so people need to pay you. There needs to be an energetic exchange, a fair energetic exchange. So if you discount yourself, you can feel like you're being used. If you charge too high, people can feel like they're being ripped off. So there needs to be a feeling that the value over exceeds the paying price, but the paying price is a fair exchange from both parties. All right. Here we go, number 9. Well, we talked about this one earlier because Adair brought this up as a, that networking will take time and relationship building to start working. Don't rock up just 1 or 2 times. And at very least, become a member of a couple of groups that you think would be a great platform for you to, get referrals and build relationships. Tracy's saying, you're right, pro bono didn't result in outcomes for the other party. Yeah, absolutely. Number 10, for my business to work and remain viable, I must invest to learn how to market and sell what I do really well. So this is my last one I want to finish off on. And what this one means basically is that you kind of got to get a degree in marketing and sales along the way of you knowing also your expertise that you're awesome at. So becoming just a life coach for me 9 years ago wasn't enough. And, and also my authors, just writing the book is just not going to be enough. This is why we build in our masterclasses that teach our clients, how to do sales mastery, speak for profit, social media, which is all happening like over the year in combination to, hey, here's this tool, here's this awesome intellectual property you have now brought into the marketplace. But hey, we want to teach you how to market and sell yourself, because if you don't have those skills, so freaking what that you have got this expertise in either being a life coach, a hypnotherapist, a physiotherapist, whatever you want to call it. Anyone who's gone to university to become a particular expert or work in a particular career, unless you're able to sell yourself and market yourself, especially if you're going to have a business, you won't get very far. So it is something you're going to invest in. I didn't realize this when I started. I thought, oh yeah, you just learn how to be a coach and you'll get clients. Yeah, that was only 20% of the journey. 80% of the journey is reading all the marketing books, going to masterclasses, learning from amazing marketers and salespeople, and understanding, the different hat you got to put on over your expert hat. And I talked about this to my authors at retreat just gone. You got to have your expert hat on when you're working with your clients in your sessions or whatever, however you're delivering the problem solution. However, you got to put your marketer hat on when you're actually writing copy and you're trying to attract new leads, sales, and prospects. So make that part of your daily education. Listen to a sales YouTube video or podcast or a marketing this or a marketing that, but don't just then listen and leave it to the side. Straight away implement something that you learned, a tip, and then you'll find your own little flavor of how you like to sell and market your business. But of course, work towards the flavor and the formula that's ultimately going to bring the results. And things shift in the marketplace, so therefore your writing and your copy will need to shift or adjust as it goes along. So it's kind of like this never-ending evolution when it comes to marketing and sales, and what used to work no longer works, or some of it works, and we need to keep growing with it. So guys, I do hope that these 10 things that I have realized over the 9 years are some things that perhaps you have realized or you are realizing, or if you haven't yet, maybe I have given you a little bit of a heads up on what it all means and how it all feels, and that we're not too dissimilar from one another. And we are going to go through all of these things, but it's important to focus on the important stuff, and that it's delivering on our promises to our clients and ensuring that we're continuing to have that constant, never-ending way of educating ourselves and growing, and continuing to really tap into and build those relationships over a period of time. If you can build relationships and build, you know, your 1,000 True Fans, which is a book I've mentioned a few times now, they say you'd be set for life. So go out there and find those 1,000 True Fans. Have a wonderful week ahead. We're having the group book launch in Melbourne this coming Friday. Mika's also launching, so she's going to stay up late. We did a little video with her the other day. 7 till 10 p.m. in Richmond at the Sporting Globe. I'll pop the link up. We'd love to see you there. We are going to have probably about 80 to 100 people on the night. We've got the photography sorted. I've got the dress picked, one that I haven't worn as yet. And yeah, so I'm off to Tassie. If you're in Hobart or Launceston, ping me. I'd love to see you there. And yeah, have a wonderful week. Smash it out. I'm off to talk to my authors about self-sabotage. I'm going to talk about the many faces of self-sabotage on your authoring journey. That's going to be a good one this morning. All right, you guys, I'm going to talk to you next week. Now, next week, I'm probably not going to be right smack bang on 9 a.m. Melbourne time. It might be a little bit later because I'm going to be flying to Brisbane exactly at 9 a.m. I'll be still mid-flight, so it might happen like a midday-ish sesh. I'll just come on and you can watch the recording later on, but I'll definitely come on. All right, love you all, and you have a great week. Go and smash it out.